Yo everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a review on Huda Beauty's latest makeup product, which is the Faux Filter concealers. So altogether they come in 29 shades, so there should technically be something for everybody. These retail at £24, which to be honest for 9ml I would say is quite pricey. I bought mine from Feel Unique, where I have Huda Beauty set up as my brand for life, and I automatically get 10% off. And at the time I also had a voucher as well as 20% off offer was going on, so I actually got a pretty good deal. And I also then went and bought 2 shades, mostly because I wasn't really sure what kind of shade to get for myself. At the moment I have got a tan. I've been to Egypt this year and I've been to Italy a couple of weeks ago, so my skin color is kind of questionable. Even my foundations are not playing game at the moment with me. If you follow me for some time, you'll know that Huda Beauty is actually one of my favorite makeup brands. I tend to use Huda Beauty's products at least at some point during my makeup routine, whether it be lipstick, eyelashes, whatever. Even today, for example, I'm wearing the Sasha eyelashes. On my eyes, I'm wearing the Wild Obsessions eyeshadow palette in Python. I'm wearing Miss America lipstick. I'm wearing one of the Glowish blushes. So I do tend to use Huda Beauty quite a lot. Now, previously, Huda did release the Overachiever concealer, which I have used in the past. And I do realise that I've come up against the same kind of issues again, and that would be in regards to the colours themselves. Even in terms of the Faux Filter foundation, I find the shades very, very difficult to match my skin tone. For example, right now I'm wearing the Faux Filter Luminous Matte Foundation on my face, and the shade that I'm using is 320G Tres Leches. Now, this is dark for me. I've actually had to add a whitener to it. And then the next golden shade up is apparently Amaretti, which I then went and bought, and it looked like mud on my skin. It was actually too dark. Didn't make sense to me. 310G is actually darker than 320G. So I have realized over the years that despite the fact that the way that the colors are listed out, they're not necessarily listed in correspondence of shade from darkest to lightest, which I find a little bit annoying. I think all brands should go from dark to light rather than switching it up with the undertones in the middle. It gets very, very confusing. But regardless, I did then look up to the next golden shade, which is 250G Cheesecake, too light. So I can't win personally, and I've actually found that to be the same issue with the Overachiever concealer as well. Personally, I have always found it very difficult when it comes to Huda's base products to have enough yellow in them. I've got a very, very yellow undertone. I still went and bought the shades 4.5G Granola, and then I bought the shade 4.1G Graham Cracker. These are actually the 2 shades that she used on herself in her reveal video. And if I look on her shade chart, which I will link in the info bar below, Huda has actually put together a shade chart in regards to her foundations, concealers, setting powders, etc., in order to try and help you get the right kind of shade. So if I go to the shade matcher and look up 320G Tres Leches, it says that Graham Cracker should on me be a brightening shade, and Cookie Dough 4.3N, which is neutral, is supposed to be a concealing shade. Why would I apply a neutral to conceal my golden skin tone, which is obviously supposed to go with 320G Tres Leches? So you're telling me that I'm supposed to apply golden foundation but a neutral concealer? That doesn't quite add up. I would definitely say take the shade guide with a pinch of salt. Maybe consult with some swatches as well. So Granola is described as medium skin tones with golden undertones, and Graham Cracker is also described as medium skin tone with golden undertones. That doesn't help. That's exactly the same description, but they're 2 different colors. Needs to be a little bit more in detail. And then the next golden shade for me is 2.5G Nougat, and the person that they have used as a model is a white Caucasian person with red hair. Are you trying to tell me that that is the next option for me? Just saying. Anyway, so let's get into the review itself before I share with you guys the demo as well. So what they have said is Huda Beauty Faux Filter Luminous Matte Liquid Concealer is a crease-proof, medium to full buildable coverage creamy concealer that brightens, conceals and moves with you for a luminous matte skin-like finish that lasts all day. Infused with conditioning sweet almond oil and vitamin E to care for delicate under eye skin, this versatile concealer has a lightweight blendable formula that melts into the skin but doesn't compromise on coverage or staying power. It effortlessly conceals dark circles and blemishes, beautifully blurs skin and brightens the under eyes without collecting or settling into fine lines. The key benefits are that it has 14-hour crease-proof wear, blendable and buildable, brightens and conceals, water, sweat and transfer proof, suitable for all skin types, available in 29 shades for all skin tones and undertones, no flashback, an XL pillowy soft doe foot applicator which hugs the under eye area, vegan friendly, fragrance free, alcohol free. The packaging is made with 30% PCR material and outer pack is FSC certified and recyclable. So that would be these boxes that are right here. You can see just a standard classic black cardboard box that Huda has for all her packaging. And let me show you the actual concealer itself. So here's the packaging. You can hear it is plastic, and then you open it up, and here is the fairly large doe foot applicator. I don't mind it. It's got a slight bend in it as well to obviously easily conceal under your eye areas and to the contours of your face. And then it's got a suction inside, so you don't like kind of waste it. You can hear that noise. So it keeps everything nice and neat and tidy on the inside, and it's more sanitary that way as well. What I found was that these two colours are fairly similar. They're also very peach in undertone. I don't detect any yellow at all, which is a shame for somebody like me who needs yellow, not peach. Peach is great for colour correcting, but I don't want it for colour correcting. As you guys know, if you follow me for some time, I generally don't use concealer on my face. I believe that if I need to cover up a blemish, I will use extra foundation in that area. I don't need to apply layer upon layer upon layer of makeup, because then that kind of defeats the whole purpose of looking natural. Let me share with you guys what these both look like side by side, just for comparison. Right, so here you can see them both on my hand. That's Granola right there, and that's Graham Cracker. And this is on my slightly lighter hand in comparison to my obviously slightly darker one, because this is more towards the kind of colour of my face than my other hand is. So as you can see, this one is definitely more of a yellowy peach, and this one is definitely a lighter peach. I don't detect any yellow in there whatsoever. So for somebody who's got skin tone like mine, you will not find this necessarily great for brightening, concealing and colour correcting, but not brightening the under eye area. As I mentioned, I bought mine from Feel Unique, and what they were actually doing, because I actually bought it on the day of the launch, is that if you were to buy one of the Huda Beauty concealers, you're actually given a free beauty sponge. This is the Huda Beauty, the Basic B Straight Edge Sponge Applicator. And I actually quite like it. It's a decent size. I like the fact that it is kind of squared off on one side, so it really helps to kind of get into that under eye area. Great for cream contour, great for foundation as well. Really nice, good quality sponge. So I'm actually very happy with this, as I've never tried it in the past. So that's what I'm going to be using in today's video. In order to set this as well, I'm also going to be using the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Setting Powder. Now, according to the shade guide, I should really be using Banana Bread. Banana Bread is my shade, you guys. What did I accidentally do in my hurry to order the concealers? I ordered the shade Blondie, which used to be my shade a couple of years ago when this first launched, when my skin was a lot darker, before I used to use sunscreen, before I used to use acids, before my skin naturally just got lighter as a result of those things I've just mentioned. I stupidly picked up the slightly darker shade, which obviously doesn't help, because as I've already said, I don't find that Graham Cracker actually brightens my under eye area. If anything, it conceals it to it almost matching my actual skin color and foundation, but it doesn't actually brighten and lift that area. Had I applied Banana Bread, it probably would have helped a little bit, as that's quite a light powder shade, but I didn't. So another thing to also bear in mind is that whatever you use to set your under eye concealer also makes a difference to how it appears under the eyes. For those people that like to use that white translucent kind of powder, I hate it. Looks grey, flashback, all that kind of thing. Always try to get a setting powder that goes with your skin tone. So what I'm going to be doing in today's demo is actually using the shade Granola to do a little bit of spot concealing. I've got 1 or 2 mosquito bites still on my face that are kind of scarred and healing, that I have needed to cover up from when I was in Venice. And then I'm going in with the shade Graham Cracker to apply to the under eye area, to the nose, to the high points of my face, in an attempt to highlight as I normally would do, but obviously on this occasion it's just kind of melding into my actual foundation itself. But this is obviously going to show you guys how easily it blends into the skin. It's also very buildable, like they said. Even though I didn't show it on the video itself, I applied a tiny little bit more under my under eye area, and it didn't cause it to become cakey and layered. It just blended into what I had already placed on my eyes. And as with all cream based products, especially concealers, you definitely have to set it. If you do not set this, it will start to crease within a minute or so. The creamier a product, the more likely it is to crease under the eyes. So please make sure that you set it either with the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose setting powder or just with any other setting powder that you've got. Now, I generally tend to layer up quite a lot of powder under my eyes, as I've always found that that is the best way to stop creasing from happening. And I leave it on my under eye area just to settle in and dry down the concealer for 5 to 10 seconds before I brush it off. And then behind is left a nice, soft, smooth looking, covered up under eye area that looks lovely, fresh, and I wanted to say brightened, but that would be if it was the right kind of color for me. But as you guys can now see, after applying it, you can see that it doesn't really brighten my under eye area that much, despite the fact that it has been made for golden undertones, despite the fact that both these concealers are supposedly for medium golden undertone skin. It doesn't quite work for me. Now, in terms of the way that it performs itself, now I do like the consistency of this. It's not too thick, but it's not too thin, and I would definitely say that it is medium to full buildable. It is not full coverage, it is medium to full. So if you're going in with a comparison against, for example, the Too Faced Born This Way super coverage, which is full, you will be disappointed because this is not as full coverage as that. It is definitely medium to full, but buildable up to full coverage if that's what you choose to do so. Now let's go into what their claims are, and I'll let you know what my thoughts are in comparison. So they said that it is 14-hour crease proof wear, 110%. You guys, yesterday, like today in London, is actually quite humid. Yesterday was actually the hottest day of the year. It hit, where I live in London, 32, 33 degrees. It was hotter than Hawaii, apparently. This did not move. So I have tried it out in the hottest temperature that I have been in this year. Bear in mind, I went to Egypt and I went to Italy. It was not as hot as it was in London yesterday. This did not crease at all. Bear in mind, I had set it, it did not move, it did not go patchy, it did not go crepey, it didn't move anywhere. It looked fresh, like I just applied it. I was super impressed. Blendable and buildable, yes, like I've already said, it blends into the skin very easily and it is blendable. Brightens and conceals. Well, brightens, I'm sure it does if I had the right shade. And conceals, yep, it has completely concealed. You can't see any of my mosquito bites on the side of my face. 1 or 2 scars that I had on my face I was trying to cover, you cannot see them at all. Water, sweat and transfer proof, 100%. Oh my god, well, you can imagine how much I was sweating, right, in the past couple of days in the lead up to this massive amount of heat that we had yesterday. It did not transfer off my face. Even though I was sweating, it did not come off. Water, well, we've had a little bit of rain as well. I've been in the rain. The rain does not make it budge at all. Super impressed. Blurs the skin, definitely gives a really nice naturally matte kind of look to the skin. It doesn't collect or settle into any fine lines. Now, I touch wood, I don't have any fine lines just yet, but I've got the natural lines that everybody has under their eyes because we have these little things called eyeballs, and I don't find that that settles into those eye lines under there at all. Even the areas where I've applied it on my face, it hasn't clogged up. It's not obvious that I've got concealer on. Sometimes when people put concealer on, and obviously it's not exactly the same shade as their foundation, you can actually see it sitting on the skin. I actually find that this concealer blends into the Faux Filter foundation in particular, but it also blended into my other foundations that I used as well. So overall, I have to say that I give this concealer a 10 out of 10. How could I not? I'm not happy with the color, obviously, but I can still use it. So I will have to actually probably try out one of the ones which are for people who have got Caucasian skin tones to see at some point in the future whether it will work for me. At the moment, £24, I'm not really willing to spend another £24 on the perfect kind of concealer shade. However, the way that it performs completely outweighs the issues that I have with the color. I cannot give it anything other than a 10 out of 10. It did not disappoint me at all. It beautifully blends into the skin. If you wanted to use this as a contour shade, you could do that as well. It glides onto the skin. It melds into the skin. It looks fresh on the skin. If I look at my under eye area right now, nice, soft and smooth. Absolutely no visibility of any kind of dark circles. I've got a slight amount of dark circles, not as much as I definitely used to have thanks to Korean skincare. Where I have spot concealed, I can't even see the mosquito bites on the side of my face. A little bit over here I applied it, can't see anything. You can't even tell that I've got concealer on. It just looks like there's nothing there at all. So for dark spots, dark circles, blemishes, that sort of thing, you will definitely like this concealer. I personally think it's an excellent product, and many of you will love this if you're in the market at the moment for a new concealer. So that's it for my review of the brand new Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.